This is introduction to our class today. The topic which we choose actually is a very the central topic of Sufism, which is called ontology of Sufism, or metaphysical aspects of Sufism. As Sufi says that if you don't have the right and clear itiqad, the belief, then your actions, your amals, your practice will be carrying some problematic issues. So first of all, we have to look at our belief of and also our understanding of the being, and the what does it mean, the being, which is called ontology. As you know, modern contemporary Muslims, they lost this tradition. There are many authors and writers, maybe some Muslim activists everywhere, and mostly they are focusing on the political terminology, which we need also, but your politics and your sociology and all of them must be derived from your ontology. In a traditional Sufism, various maps of spiritual development include states and stations, ahwal wal maqam, hal and maqams of consciousness, self-consciousness that define the murids, which is wayfarer's spiritual journey, which is called Sayr Suluk. In such maps, so-called, the Salik is typically imagined as inhabiting at least 4 successive phases of development. The first of these is the Sharia, which is the form, which is the law, which is the entrance to the Islamic body, actually, Islamic body of knowledge, the gate of Sharia. They call it Babu Sharia, or gate of Sharia, a phase of character refinement in which the aspirants' aptitude to conform to the ethical teachings contained in the Quran. If a person is found to be ethically sound in this way, in the Sharia, he or she is then admitted to the particular order, which is called Tariqa. Tariqa is way. According to famous Ottoman Sufi, Yunus Emre, as you know, Yunus Emre is a famous Sufi master of the 13th century, whose poetry continues to reverberate to this day, even. The simplicity of the language he used to convey the inherently complicated concepts of divine law. In his poetry, one verse is very important. He says that in Turkish, then I will translate into English. Şeriat, tarikat, yoldur varana, hakikat, marifet, andan içeru. Laws and paths are roads for those who arrive, who desire to arrive somewhere. So, and continue, the fruit of truth is what is within. So we saw that Yunus Emre, in the line of Akbarian tradition in the Ottoman time, he divided the degrees of religious knowledge at least 4 levels. Are relative, it is not absolute. So this is those two first levels, which is called Sharia and Tariqa, in a sense are vehicles. You have to use them, or instruments. You have to use them for what you have to use them to reach the third and the fourth level. So your real destination, your real goal should be at least third or fourth level, which is marifa, knowledge or enlightenment, and the haqiqa, which is truth. So you came from truth. Why I have do I have to reach this level, this certainty, this yaqeen, this truth, this haqq? For what reason? We have to remind him that according to Quran, God says that inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Surely you came from him and you are returning back to him. So your origin and your destination, him alone. So you came from him. You didn't came from somewhere else. Even some Kalami schools, some of them, they claim that yes, God created us, but we separated from him. So he is alone, and we are mumkin al-wujud. He is absolute being, and we are separated from him. But God says differently in Quran, and God says that, for example, وَهُوَ مَعَكُمْ أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُمْ. He is with you wherever you are. He didn't say that you were with me, now you separated from me, and we don't have any ties or link anymore. No, he said wherever you are, I am with you. وَهُوَ مَعَكُمْ. This philosophy of ma'iyyat, which is nearness and being togetherness, of course, in a spiritual level, of course, in a physical level, after the creation started, when God started the creation, he bestowed upon us his spirit, and he said that I breathe in my spirit, وَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي. I breathed in you my spirit. So, which means that if we are carrying God's spirit, so this spirit, in a sense, a chip of God in us, he wants to return back to the origin. So whether we confess it or not, whether we pronounce it or not, our nature is divine nature, wants to be completed by knowing him, by reaching him, because our right place or makan, the right place of human soul in him. We are a little bit isolated. We are actually alienated from this origin. So Yunus Emre and this kind of Sufis, they say that you have to use some vehicles to reach the understanding of how to find his way. So Sharia, unfortunately, today's contemporary Muslims, they made their religion, noble Islam, the equivalent to Sharia only. In some interpretation, some school of interpretation of Islam, such as Salafism, for example, they don't have any other levels. Islam equal to Sharia only, which is even more than this. Not only the Sharia, a law which is punishment, the punishment codes of law. This is for me, and I think for all of us, is more dangerous things happened in last 20 or 40 years to give this damage to our understanding of Islam or traditional Islam. Of course, we have Sharia, Babu Sharia, and then we have Babu Tariqa. But there is some explanations. What was the Sharia? What was the Tariqa? And as Yunus Emre said, both of them are vehicles, instruments to be used to reach upper levels, which is Ma'rifah, Gnosis, then to reach truth. Truth is reality. Reality, Haq, actually, you came from your homeland. You forget it, but you originally from truth. So the land of truth is Haqiqa. You have to find it in this world. Otherwise, you cannot be fully taste of happiness in this world. Till you find your right place, then settle down in this right place, which is called in Sufism sukoon. Then you became maskoon, where you will be maskoon in maskan, in your real maskan as a sakin must be in him because you came from him. So these Sayr Suluk, which is development from Sharia to the upper levels, is a progress. Everybody must follow this path. But unfortunately, Ahli Sharia now contemporary world, they deny the other levels. And plus, sorry to say, some so-called Ahli Tariqas also, they made their way as a religion or equal to the religion, and they became not Ahli Tariqa, but their goal. They forget the goal, they forget the maqsad, and their Tariqa became their religion. So whether you are following any kind of Tariqa, whether it be Naqshbandi or Khalwati or Shazali or Qadri, Rifai, many those schools, Alhamdulillah, for their founder fathers of peers, they established to teach you how to reach these upper levels. But the murids, today's murids, they are following those tariqas as a label only, as a brand, some kind of brand, and even they make some competition. My sheikh is more powerful than your sheikh. My tariqa is better than your tariqa. And what is this actually? So all of them, it shows that they are far away from the real essence of the meaning of the tariqa. Tariqa, at-turuq ila Allah bi'adad al-anfas al-makhluqat, they said. So the way to God is multiple. Way to God, ways are completely not only one, multiple ways you can reach God. So Ahli Malamat, Ahli Qalandar, there are many zawq, taste in this way. So we thanks to all masters, Sufi masters, they put their efforts and they maximum efforts to try to explain the ways and the dangers of the ways, for the wayfarers. As aspirants, murids pursue the practices of the Tariqa, they are expected to mature in their capacity to achieve a more direct form of contemplative perception referred to as ma'rifah. Then, of course, the outcome of such contemplation is referred to as Haqiqa. When Allah says "An al-Haq," he in a sense he wanted to say that I'm from this land, that land, which is the land of Haqiqa. But nobody understand him what he was saying, so they accused him in an infidel. One of the great master of Sufi ontology is Shaykh al-Akbar Muhyiddin ibn Arabi. Muhyiddin ibn Arabi. But by the way, I forgot to tell you that the fanaticism of Tariqa problems actually is more affected in the fanaticism of Madhhabs. There are some the schools of jurisprudence in Islam, as you know. Some of them are Sunnis, some of them Sunni Madhhabs, Hanafi, Shafi, Maliki, Hanbali, and some of them is Shia Madhhabs. But Madhhabism became more dangerous now, became religion. So even Madhhabs are don't recognize each other, don't accept each other as brothers or sisters. This is another big problem of modern Muslim world. In order to get rid of this kind of problem and eliminate these obstacles, the best way is to follow Sufi, Gnostics, Arifs ways. Of course, they had also their own madhhab. They had their own Tariqa, but they never mentions about Tariqas or madhhab. Those are as I told you, those are instruments they were using. What they are explaining the fruits, the result by using of those madhhab or this particular madhhab or particular Tariqa. They show us, they give us what they discovered, what they grasp from Ma'rifah and from Haqiqa. This is more important. So don't tell me about your madhhab. Don't tell me about your Tariqa. This is the history of Sufism, not the real essence of Sufism. Of course, like everything, like every thought, Sufism also has historical aspect. Of course, Sufism played very important role in the history everywhere, in India, in Iran, in Turkey, in Morocco, and even in Arabian world, everywhere. So a scholar can study history of a Sufi Tariqa, but if you know your Tariqa's history, it doesn't give you the Ma'rifah of God, or doesn't take you to the upper levels. I'm not denying to make any anthropological, sociological, or historical studies. Someone may do it, but even in my country, in Turkey, there are some Sufis. When I sit down with them, their sohbet, their sohbet, majlis, full of about the history of their sheikhs and their tariqas, even the history of their tekia, when it was built, how many bricks they used, the colors and the domes and the design. Well, this is, of course, some informations, but those are not knowledge. Knowledge and information is completely two different things. History of Sufism as science of history. All right, we don't deny it, but the vertical history, as Henry Corbin says, histographia, from upper levels, from the or origin, how we came down here, and what are we doing here, and where we are going, and before dying, how we can spiritually die. Mutu qabla an tamutu. Prophet Muhammad says that die before the angel of death, which is Azrael, comes. So, which shows that there is two levels of dying. One of them is spiritually, and the second one is physically. If you spiritually die, which is fana and beka, then physically dying, it doesn't harm you. Even there is some manaqib, some legendary stories about the Rumi, and when he was compiling his Masnavi, some last verses in Manaqib Name, Azrael came and said that I was sent to you to take amanat, to take back your spirit to the God. And Rumi says that what you will take from a person who is already died. So I am already died. What are you looking for? So this is a meaning. Of course, Azrael excused, and he said, "I'm sorry. I'm just a servant. I'm what I was ordered. I have to do." And Rumi said that, "Go, and I will call you. I'm very busy now. I'm trying to finish my Masnavi. Then I will finish it. I will call you, and you can come. Don't worry. And now, see you later on." So this is of course, mankiba, but there is some meaning on it. The great master, as all of you know, Muhyiddin Ibn Arabi's masterpiece is the Fusus al-Hikam. He, in his Mubashira, in his dream-like state, actually, it is not exactly dream. Mubashira is a dream-like ecstatical state. Well, it is not when you are sleeping. It came to you when you are praying in your salat, in your namaz, or in your zikr, in your invocations, praying, or even in your sleeping as well. So in Mubashirat, he said that I saw the messenger of God, Muhammad, peace be upon him, in a glass-tided vision, which was shown to me. He held a book and he told me that this is the Fusus al-Hikam, the ringstones of the wisdom. Ringstones of wisdom, take it to the people so that they may benefit from it. So deliver it, give it to a person who is who can understand or digest the knowledge in it. So I replied to Rumi. Ibn Arabi says that it is my pleasure to obey God, His messenger, and the rulers among us. So I realized my hope to explain. So Ibn Arabi says that I will try to explain according to these prophets' orders to him. Of course, in Fusus al-Hikam, He explained the degrees of the existence implicitly. Later on, in his another Shah Asar, which is masterpiece, which is Meccan Revelations, so-called Al-Futuhat Al-Makkiyah, 37 volumes of 10,000 pages, 560 chapters of monumental work. He explained more deeply. But later on, there are some commentators of Fusus al-Hikam, comes from the Ibn al-Arabi's line, Akbarian line. By the way, when I'm using the term Akbarian, there is no Akbarian Tariqa under this name. If we look at the history of Sufism, there was no this kind of Tariqa. For me as well, there is no Tariqa under the name of Malamatiya or Malami. Those are Zawq. You can be Akbari, being a Naqshbandi, as being Khalwati, as being Shazali, or non-Akbari Shazali, non-Akbari Naqshbandi. Today, there is some non-Akbari Naqshbandis in Pakistan, in Turkey. They choose Ahmed Farooq Sirhindi for their more founder father of their second part of the second phase of the Naqshbandi history. Actually, original Naqshbandis all of them are Akbaris, such as Yusuf Hamadani, such as Abdul Khalik Kujdawani. All of them, when you read their books, they pay attribute to Shaykh al-Akbar's legacy too much. Khaja Muhammad Parisa is one of the great Naqshbandi, and he made a commentary on Fusus al-Hikam. And Abdurrahman Jami also, he made a commentary on Fusus al-Hikam. So those were the original Naqshbandis. But later on, there was a so-called Mujaddidi al-Fisani, Ahmed Farooq Sirhindi. And after that, the Tariqa, it became Mujaddidiyah. All right. Then they little bit, not little bit actually, is too much far away from the Akbarian understanding of Sufism. Again, Akbari interpretation of Sufism or ontology, it is a supra tariqas. You can be, as I told you, you can follow any madhab. You can be Shia, you can be Sunni. Although Ibn al-Arabi himself was a Sunni, his father and mother and his relatives, all of them. He was born in a Maliki society, but he was not a follower of the Malikism. As Mahmut Erol and some other scholars of on Ibn al-Arabi, they said that Ibn al-Arabi was not belong to any particular madhab. Some claimed that he was a Zahiri, follower of the Dawud al-Zahiri. Some say that he was a Maliki. But in one of his poems, he said that I'm not follower of Ahmad bin Hanbal or Abu Hanifa. So he has his own ijtihad. Even he has, if you look at his Futuhat al-Makkiyah, you will see that he has some jurisprudential ijtihad as well. So, as those scholars, contemporary scholars, claimed that Ibn al-Arabi's mazhab was mazhab akbariyah. So his own ijtihads. He described how to pray, for example, in your namaz, in your salat, in your praying, how you have to act. He explains. For example, just one example, Hanafis, they don't do it. When you are going to ruku, you don't raise your hands. Hasf al-mankibayn in Arabic, they call it. You don't make a takbir. Hanafis, always they do takbir at the beginning of praying. Then they never do it till the salam. But he said that I saw in my dream, my Prophet Muhammad, he said that, oh, my son, Muhyiddin, قبل الركوع وبعد الركوع, before ruku and after ruku, to raise your hand, take takbir, is one of my very strong sunnah. So please perform it. Ibn al-Arabi says that in my homeland, in Maliki land, although we are not doing this, after I saw Prophet Muhammad, I started to pray like this. So he has many this kind of ijtihads in every field of fiqh, every field of jurisprudence. So we call that Ibn al-Arabi has his own fiqh mazhab, his own mazhab, jurisprudental mazhab as well. He is not only the founder of the Gnostic Islamic irfan, he is also the founder of ijtihad and mazhab. He's against analogy, he's against qiyas, for example, so and so forth. So when we look at those commentators, starting from early commentators such as Sadruddin al-Konevi, such as Mu'ayyiduddin al-Jandi, and then later on Dawood al-Qaisari, Abdul Razzaq al-Kasani. By the way, some muhakkikun, some scholars, they said that Abdul Razzaq Kashani, but the late muhakkik in Qum, he was my old friend. He passed away during the COVID period. Muhsin Bidar Far, Intisharat Bidar. He was running a small bookstore in Qum, in the city of Qum. His bookstore, maybe Rustam knows and some other friends may know, that was the meeting place of the Gnostics, Ahli Irfan. His majlis was Ahli Irfan, and he edited Fusus al-Hikam of Kashani, and he said that he is not Kashan, from Kashan. He is from Kasan. Kasan is very close to Bukhara in Central Asia, because Jandi, Kasani, Fergani, all this part is which is called Greater Khorasan. Khorasan, Ibn al-Arabi's idea spread after Sadruddin Konevi to this part of the Islamic world. So anyhow, it is not very important, but this is a historical. We are academicians. Sometimes we have to share some historical information as well, although it is not gnostical information, but historical. It has some values in the historical studies. So, if we collect from all those commentators of Fusus al-Hikams, from their comments, especially from Dawood al-Qaisari, and they summarize of Ibn al-Arabi's ontology, and they said that, for example, Ibn al-Arabi divide the existence or wujud in at least some says 5 degrees, which is Khazarat al-Khamsa, and some says that no, into 7 degrees. But there is no contradiction. Actually, we can combine 7 septenary constitution as a Pentateuch, as a 5 degrees, even 5 degrees division of 2 degrees, which is al-Zahir wal-Batin. Those are, when you make it more plural, which is, those are subdivisions of one essence, actually. It is not a contradiction each other. There is a one item. When you divide it into 2, then it doesn't mean that you separate it from the origin. It's a one entity, but inside one entity, there is 2 subdivisions. So in first stage, I don't know how many minutes we have, but there's a very long explanations of those commentators. They said that first stage, which is called, Dawud al-Kayseri refers to this stage, are la ta'ayyun. La ta'ayyun, which means non-determination, or itlaq, which is non-delimitation, or zat bakht, which is pure essence. In this stage, the essence of God is far exalted above all attributes and qualities, and there is no stage above that stage. So this is la ta'ayyun, non-manifestation. Even in that stage, we cannot call him as Khaliq, because there is no makhluk. If there is no created things, how we can call him creator? So he is not al-Khaliq. Even we cannot call him as Rab, because there is no marbub. In order to call him as Rab, must be a marbub. There is no marbub, so he is not Rab there. So even we cannot call him as Ilah, because there is no me'luh to say him, you are my Ilah. So Sufi says that we cannot define him by attributes. Only we can refer him. We can say that, like adjectives, saying he, which is huwa, which is huwiyat, maqam huwiyat. As you know, huwa or who, in Sufi invocations, sometimes in Khalwati order, for example, in the 3rd level, they made zikr with the name. It is not name, which their invocation is who. So he is above all attributes, all any adjectives to him. So in that stage, of course, we cannot talk too much unless God give us some ilham, some inspiration, some wahi, some revelations to prophets or messengers or veli, so that we can say something. But our knowledge is very limited about this stage. But we came from him. So when we reach him, inshallah, I will ask when I see him, when I reach him, that I will ask many questions. Actually, this is one of them, and I hope that he will satisfy me there. I hope so. I believe so, and I am waiting to meet him one day, inshallah. And the second stage, he calls this stage as ta'ayyun awwal, first determination. In this stage, the Almighty Allah, the Almighty Reality, has the universal knowledge of his attributes, qualities, and all the beings. And the third stage, he calls this stage, Dawood al-Kayseri and other commentators, they call that stage second determination, ta'ayyun al-thani. In this stage, the reality knows his attributes and qualities in differentiation. Difference, those three stages, first stage, second stage, third stage. In the other words, la ta'ayyun, ta'ayyun al-awwal, and ta'ayyun al-thani, composed of divinity and misunderstanding, misinterpretation of those three stages creates trinitial aspects of God in some religions. So it takes long to explain. Just I would like to mention only and stop here, but just keep in your mind that some Christian mystics, when they interpret the Trinity, actually it shows that they were lack of real information of those three divinity levels as Ibn al-Arabi has. So after those three, then this is Jabarut, the Alam Nasut and Lahut. And Alam and Lahut composed of those three levels. But they said this God, Father and Son, Spirit and God. This Trinity of Christianity, and in some sense, Trinity of in Hinduism, sometimes, it gives some similarity, but it is not exactly a similarity actually to Ibn al-Arabi's explanation of Alim al-Lahut. Ibn al-Arabi, this is not a trinity actually. It is a same essence. In it, everything it goes. When he wants to create, because he said that I was unknown, so I wanted to create. كنت كنزا مخفيا فأحببت أن أعرف فخلقت الخلق. So when you follow those three levels, it is not created world. This is the different understanding from Christianity. All of them, Ibn al-Arabi's follower says that all of them, it happens in the realm of divinity. So after those three, the fourth below stages starts. The stage of souls, Martabe Arwah. This stage is composed of the abstract and simple cosmic beings. So in this stage, we cannot speak of matter and combination. These beings are cognizant of their selves and origin. So in this stage, Adam, what was the meaning of Adam? Who was Adam? Adam Haqiqi, and different from the Prophet Hazrat Adam. Hazrat Adam, Prophet Adam, and Adam Haqiqi is different, because when Prophet Muhammad says that I was a prophet, but Adam was not created yet. Adam was not created yet. At that time, I was prophet. So it shows that, and I could, if I remember correctly in Arabic text, it says that أنا كنت نبيا والآدم بين الماء والطين. Yes, I remember now. I was prophet, but Adam was between clay and water. He was not created yet. So it shows that the prima materia, the first being, as philosophers and some astrophysicians says that the first created thing from God, what was it? Even today, in CERN, in many circles, is still debate among the astrophysicians continued. What was the real essence? What was the first thing created by God or by nature? They call it. Some believers they call it God, but some say that the nature or prima materia. And Sufis, Ibn Arabi says that this was the Muhammadan reality. Because Muhammadan reality, Haqiqatul Muhammadiyya, was the prima materia. So everything created from these essence, this Muhammadan reality. So all prophets, all creatures carrying the Muhammadan heritage, inherited from him. Miras Muhammadi. Even Prophet Muhammad, when he was born in Mecca, from a family, Abdullah and Amira, father and mother, this is a physical appearance of Haqiqatul Muhammadiyya. Also, he came from this Haqiqatul Muhammadiyya. Muhammadun kal bashar bal yaqutu bayna al hajar. So, yes, Prophet Muhammad was a man, human being, but he was a valuable stone, like emerald. You cannot compare with him the other stones. This is valuable stones. So after this stage of souls, this stage is composed of the abstract and simple cosmic beings, which I taught you. Then the fifth stage is similarity or imagination, which is called martabe-i mithal. This stage is composed of the cosmic subtle compound beings. In this and devoted to this stage, Kayseri explains the nature of the domain of imagination. He divides the domain into two groups. He calls first domain discontinuous imagination, khayal munfasil, and the other contiguous imagination, khayal muttasil. For the former exists independently of the viewer, and the latter's existence is connected to the viewing subject. Those things is it remind you something in contemporary physicians now? If you carefully follow what was the development, scientific development in today's physical quantum physicians, what they are saying about the reality of matter, before the quantum physicians, Ibn Arabi and their commentators, they explained that the matters actually, they are not non-existent. It exists or seems to exist when the viewer is viewing them. When you see them, when you look at them, they are appear. When you don't see them, they disappear. They are not in the realm of seeing. So the absolute being is alone. The existence is belong to him. Allah alone, illallah. And the mumkin al-wujud, as some Kalami schools, they claim, according to Ibn Arabi, is full imagination, full khayal mutlaq. These contemporary findings of the physicians come very close to the ideas of Ibn Arabi. As you remember, at the beginning of this century, there was a big debate and the different approaches of between mystics or religious thinkers and the positivist scientists. But last 10 or last 20 years, those gap narrowed again after the quantum physicians especially. Even they benefit from Rumi's sentences, and they benefit from Ibn Arabi's cosmology. I hope Islamic world, so-called Islamic world, also one day they return back to the origin. I hope they return back to the tradition, and they start to study carefully Rumi, instead of making his Rumi Helva in Konya, Rumi puppet in Konya. They work seriously, scientifically on Rumi's verses. And also
So here's one question. Are madhabs unnecessary in order to understand and implement Sharia?
Well, dear brother, if you don't accept madhabs, then you can establish a madhab. You cannot escape from madhab. The problem is madhabism. The madhab, whether it's Sunni madhab or Shia madhabs, what does it mean madhab? Zahaba yazhabu madhaban. To give opinion, to give your opinion. For example, there are some prophetic saying. It is not explaining everything. If you look at the Quran, Quran says that sallu, so pray, but doesn't give us how to pray. And when we look at the Prophet Muhammad's sunnah, and narration comes from Prophet Muhammad, he said, Sallu kama ra'aytumuni usalli. Just look at me and see how I am praying. Just copy from me, just follow me. And Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, one of the companion, and he saw and he said that he prayed like this. And other companion, he said, I saw him doing this. So both of them is right. You can choose one of them to follow. Otherwise, you can be in trouble how to define physically your praying. For me, for example, I am follower the madhab of Ibn Arabi. I am Akbari. So I'm trying to pray what Ibn Arabi is. So if I don't accept madhab or Shafi madhab or Ibn Jafar madhab or Ibn Arabi's madhab, then I, as a Mahmud, I have to give one idea, one ijtihad, saying that both of them or all of them, their interpretation is wrong because I have more powerful evidence shows that Prophet Muhammad was praying just opposite, for example. Unless I cannot provide this proof, I have to obey one master. This is in spirituality as well. If you have direct contact with God, but if you go to Abdul Qadir Gilani, and if you say that, oh, my son, come here, and I will teach you something, just, make this invocation in the morning, at night this, so you can benefit from his formulas. If you deny, no, I don't accept you, okay, you can do your own. You can be mujtahid fi tariq or mujtahid fi madhhab. Otherwise, you have to follow. But the problem is madhabism. If you are Hanafi and saying that the only way is Hanafi, the other ones is went astray. They are in dalala. This is wrong. For example, I don't want. Maybe I can mention his name, but just now, when I was living in London in 1982-83, there was one so-called Sufi group in Norwich, northeast of London. With my Turkish friend, we want to see them. We want to visit them, and there was our friend from Oxford, Yasin. Through him, we had an appointment, and we went there to see the master. And we went there, and we sit down, and he welcomed us. And I said that, Salam alaikum, and we are coming from Turkey. The first question he asked me, are you Hanafi? We said that, well, yes, so we are. If we are coming from Istanbul, which means that Hanafi. So why? But he asked Hanafi. Then there is a silence in the room, 1 minute silence. Then he said that, no, Hanafism is bourgeoisie mazhab. Mazhab of bourgeoisie. In order to reach Prophet Muhammad, you have to follow the people's path, which is more ideological speech, leftist speech. He said that the more popular mazhab is Malikism. So you have to follow Imam Malik's mazhab. And I look at my friend, and he looked at me, and we said, well, thank you very much. Nice meeting you. We came here to listen some truth, some Haqiqa, not about the Tariqas and Madhhab things. So thank you very much. And we left. So this is Madhhabism. This is wrong. You see some so-called Sunni offsprings, which is called Al-Qaeda, and those, they killed many Shiites, and they said those are kafirs. Well, some international powers benefited from this kind of Madhhabism too much. They invest on this Madhhabism. Oh, Muslims, unite, 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 unite. Don't look at the differentiation. The race, it could be different. You can be a British, I can be a Turkish, you can be Iranian. Those are attributes, those are not essence. One of my physician, one of my friend, he's every day in the hospital, they entered the operations, and he said the black man and white man, when we take them to the operation room, when we open their stomach or their heart, any kind of medical operation, they carry the same color. The color differences is outwards. It is not inside. Inside is one. Whether it be black man or white man or Chinese or Turkish, all are the same. Even more than human being, even we are very close by DNA. We are very close to the trees. Among 100 different DNA, we differentiate from tree only 4 DNA. It makes it tree and makes me human being. So how can I say that this is an ordinary wood? No, it carries a spirit. It carries a spirit of God everywhere. This is Wahdat al-Wujud. We have to see God's message and God's essence everywhere.
Is the way of Maulana Rumi, which appears to be associated with love or ishq, different from the way of Ibn Arabi, which appears to be associated with gnosis or irfan? Or are these one and the same?
Well, my friend, this is the classification of some contemporary scholars of Sufism, which I don't agree with them. Some divisions, I don't agree. Some says that, for example, school of Baghdad is completely different from school of Khorasan. Mazhabi Ushq is different from Mazhabi Irfan. Those are, well, I don't believe so. Of course, there are some differences of language explanations, or in Persian language, which is very rich for descriptions and using metaphors, full of metaphors and majaz and those things. And Arabic language has also some capacity. But in essence, the divine law is the divine law, my friend. How to interpret it? I remember one of the Malaysian professor, and now I remember his name, Bukhari Lubis. He was doing his PhD under the supervision of the Professor Hamid Algar. His PhD thesis was comparison. The idea of divine law of Ghalib in Urdu poetry with Ibn al-Arabi in Arabic poetry and Yunus Emre in Turkish poetry. So although those three different languages, but the al-ma'na muttahid, the meaning are the same. So I don't. Ibn al-Arabi has also law, and Rumi also has irfan, has gnosis. It doesn't mean that Ibn al-Arabi focuses only on irfan, gnosis, and denying or neglecting the law, divine law, or just opposite. Rumi focuses on divine law only. There is no epistemological no. There is both of them. So I don't agree with this kind of discriminations. Of course, person to person, not geographical discrimination. I don't accept geographical one. Maybe folklorical essence it could be. For example, in Sufism, invocation is very important. But if I am living in Central Asia, there is my tradition, my vocals. I can use some rhythm, which is very similar to my geography. If I am a Spanish, I can make my zikr according to my Spanish tones. This is permissible. This is all right, no problem. But person to person, it could be some differences of expressions only by using language. So I don't accept this kind of very strict discrimination of Rumi is the path of law. Of course, or dear master Sidi Shamsuddin, he wrote path of knowledge and path of law, but he didn't, discriminate among them. This is a level, this is a title of books only. This is okay.
Thank you again, Professor.
Thank you to all. Thank you.